For Thought for the Day. The speaker in our studio this morning, the Reverend Dr. Giles Fraser, priest in charge of St Mary Newington. Morning to you.
Morning to you. Back in 2006, the Russian government altered its legal definition of religious extremism, removing references to committing violence and inciting hatred. From that point on, all you had to do in order to be an extremist was to incite religious discord. And so it was that last Thursday, the Russian Supreme Court made a decision to ban the Jehovah's Witnesses from Russia on the grounds of their so-called extremism and ordered the state to confiscate all their property. Extremism is, of course, a slippery word. Yes, the Jehovah's Witnesses take the Bible literally. So, for example, they take the instruction in the book of Leviticus not to eat blood as a prohibition against any sort of ingestion of blood, including blood transfusions. They also take literally the biblical injunction not to spill blood, to kill, so they refuse to serve in the armed forces. All this may seem extreme to some people, or foolhardy, or brave, but it's hardly extremism in the same way in which, for example, ISIS are extreme. It's not even the same ballpark. For a number of years now, the Russian police have raided Jehovah's Witnesses' places of worship and confiscated their books. But this decision takes things to a whole new level. Baroness Annalise, speaking for the British government, has described herself as alarmed. This ruling, she says, criminalises the peaceful worship of 175,000 Russian citizens. And alarmed is absolutely right. For just by coincidence, it was on this very day, April the 24th, in 1933, that the Nazi government first moved on the Jehovah's Witnesses in Germany, closing down the Watchtower Society in Magdeburg. Not only did the witnesses refuse to serve in the Wehrmacht, they also refused to say Heil Hitler. A Gestapo unit was established to monitor their activity. They were forced to wear purple triangles. Their children were taken away from them to receive a patriotic German education, and several thousand of them were taken to concentration camps. In 1942, for example, one Wolfgang Kusserow was beheaded in Brandenburg prison for being a Jehovah's Witness. "Thou shalt not kill," he shouted back at his executioners. The Jehovah's Witnesses are right to fear history repeating itself. They are one of the most persecuted groups of Christians in the 20th century. After World War II, many unlucky enough to be in the Soviet Union were exiled to Siberian labour camps. All this has never been about religious extremism, I don't think. It's more about political authorities cracking down on those who had pledged their lives to something other than the state. And if the state cannot find within itself a place for those who peacefully refuse to worship at its temples, then it's the state that's become extreme, not the Jehovah's Witnesses.
And that was Thought for the Day with Giles.